Hi to everyone, this is Beaver and Board Games, and today we will have a serious struggle for the right to be called the successor of the Zorro himself in the game Zorro the Dice Game, which, by the way, on the Kickstarter right now, links in the description below. This game is from the publisher Pull the Pin Games and the authors Brian Hank and Clayton Skanke. And in general, this, as it has already become clear, is a game with the mechanics of throwing the dice and trying to fit some combinations in Yahtzee style. Zorro the Dice Game is from 2 to 6 players, and in this game players will perform various feats, fights with scoundrels and cunning villains, trying to protect civilians and prove the right to wear the black mask, cloak, and draw the letter Z in the air with the help of their sword. This is not the final version of the game, and I know they will make some updates to the presentation, but still, let's look on the game a little bit closer. Before the start of the game you need to make some quick preparations. Here are 4 feat cards which you need to make to prove your skills. On the turn, each player needs to choose one of the cards and put hero's token on it. Also, you can call one of other players to join you if you need. Each card has some requirements which player must fit. Player can roll all 6 zero dices plus any other hero dices which he can have. After rolling, you can save any number of dices and roll again if you need, and you have 3 rolls on your turn. Also, you can use any of your equipment during your rolls. Now let's look on the equipment cards, and they can be of 2 types. Common, which let you reroll some sides of the dices or just give you the dice symbol, which you can use during your journey. But epic equipment much more cool and have unique abilities, as for example Trap. You can set a die to any value before rolling or sword, which when you roll, it becomes wild symbol for you in the end of the rolling. Also, when you choose one of the feats, you can call one of other players. If another player joins you, you may use any of his equipment cards in addition to your own cards during your rolls, and also your partner can also make the first roll if you need it. On the feat cards there are 4 symbols which you need to roll, and after you finish your rolls, if you have not met the conditions, nothing happens and your turn is over. But if you rolled necessary symbols, you completed the heroic feat, and you can take this card and put it in front of you. If you already have a card that matches the color of the new feat card, you can take a die from the location and trigger a scoundrel or villain, about which we will talk a little bit later. Then you and your partner can take one equipment card or at the heroic feat or from the top of the deck, and then new feat cards draws to replace the one you took, and the next player begins his turn. Each time one player acquires the first die for the location, players need to fight against scoundrel. You fight them like the heroic feats, except that every player must fight solo and get premium equipment when he defeats the scoundrel. But every scoundrel also has its unique abilities, which make the fight more harder. And when the player gets his 3rd feat card of the one color, the next player must fight against the villain. It's the final battle in the game, and it can happen even if there are no cards in the feat deck as well. This fight will help to decide who deserves to become new Zorro, but die requirements on the villain cards are the most difficult in the game, as his abilities. Every player who defeats the villain puts his player token in the middle standing up, while losing the fight knock it over. And if multiple players defeat the villain and standing in the center, you need to duel with each other. To do so, players roll all their dice using all their equipment cards, trying to roll as many swords as possible to win the duel. And that goes on until only one player is left, and he wins the game and becomes a new Zorro. A simple dice throwing in Yahtzee style game. The rules are really very simple that you can tell them in principle while you prepare to the game. isn't to me to play much more interesting for 2 or 3 players, because the game is faster and your turn is sooner coming, and there are no direct confrontation between the players, and everyone is fighting for their equipment cards that can be obtained by performing feats, but all the players can get their epic equipment anyway, regardless of who did start the battle with the scoundrels. Of course, the authors tried to add a little depth and integration by calling players into the battle, but in this is a rather specific thing. In fact, you just let your opponents to get a new equipment card, and this is not great at all to help them. And by the way, special cubes, special hero cubes that players get by performing feats and fighting scoundrels encourages players to perform the same feats further and further in order to fight the villain in the same color that matches the color of the cube, because the cubes has unique sides with the special symbols that present on the task of the villains. So in fact the game is pretty fast because each of the players is armed in a certain color of feats. Well, what else I want to note is the design of the game, which is really very cool, very nice artwork on the cards and cool cubes in the game, and as for the box in general, pulling the pin is really creative. That's all for now. If you like this video or more it was helpful for you, thumb up and subscribe to the channel. Well, today with you was Beaver and Board Games. See you next time.
I